glorious. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Season 2 of Captain C's Review. And the C stands for cinema, so you know it's quality. Welcome, we are here in our new home, the Mr. Nerd's Neighborhood channel, and it's a fun time to be here. And today we have a very special movie to talk about. Yes, a very special movie, a very terrible movie. Yes. So, let's dive into the movie that is very conversational with the fan-voted and fan-requested Dragon Ball Evolution. Oh, God, this movie sucked. Look, first, before I get into what actually happens in the movie, let me first start by saying a couple of things. One, this movie was so bad that watching it gave me a headache. And not just any headache, like a real headache of just how stupid and how bad it was. And me trying to wrap my head around every terrible decision that they made in the movie actually made me have to split my viewing into two parts. Because I just couldn't do it. I couldn't handle the pain pounding in my head trying to figure out what's wrong with this stupid movie. It was kind of ridiculous. And it kind of shows with the backlash that this movie has. Dragon Ball fans hate this movie because it's entirely inaccurate. And movie fans, like general movie fans, hate it because it's just a sloppy mess of a movie. On Rotten Tomato, it has a 15% for critics and a 20% for audience reviews. That's insane. That means unanimously the entire film-watching community agrees that Dragon Ball Evolution is a movie that you should stay away from. But because we're doing Season 2, and it's a very special occasion, I've been requested to watch it, of course, because people love to see me suffer. So, let's talk about Dragon Ball Evolution. First and foremost, the movie opens up with kind of this legend of what Piccolo is and what Ozaru is. And I know, before you start going off on me, I'm going to use the movie's pronunciations just so you understand how stupid this is, okay? So, Piccolo and Ozaru says that Piccolo was this demon thing that got trapped years ago and has recently been freed. Or there's a prophecy that says that he will be freed along with the Ozaru. And something about the Mafuba, whatever that is. I digress. I think that's like supposed to be like the containment unit that they use to contain Piccolo and other beings of this magnitude of power, right? So, after that, we're introduced to Goku and his Grandpa Gohan. Grandpa Gohan looks okay. Goku is a little off. He looks like he's off of the set of a High School Musical movie. And that's not even a joke, because in a later scene, he goes to high school. And look, I've only seen the first 3 episodes of the original Dragon Ball, okay? The original Dragon Ball, I've only seen the first 3 episodes. My knowledge of Dragon Ball starts at Dragon Ball Z, which is why I love my man Piccolo, and I hate what they did to him in this movie. I know it's technically a different Piccolo, but it's still wrong what they did. But even though I know few things about Goku. One, he's fairly young. In this movie, he's a teenager. And like a good couple years as a teenager. I think he's in high school, for goodness sakes. It's kind of dumb. And he goes to school. Well, in the original, he was kind of shied away from society. So putting him in high school just doesn't make any sense. It kind of ruins most of his naivete. You know, Goku is a really skilled fighter, but is kind of stupid because he hasn't been, around people for years, almost all of his life. Undo that. He's now a terrible fighter and he's constantly around people. Makes sense. Moving on. And we open up on like a training session with Goku and Gohan, which wouldn't be that bad if they recreated the Gohan Goku fight that we know from the show. You know, the fight that Goku regularly reenacts solo as kind of a mental training for any big fight that he ever has. That would have been a cool fight to see on the big screen, if nothing more than a nice heartfelt letter to let us know, as fans, that our movie is in good hands. Instead, we get bug slurping sound effects that not even Akuna Matata would like. Oh yeah, it's that stupid. So, let's move forward, because now we have Goku in high school. We get to his high school where we have the old school bullies. I'm talking stupid bullies, okay? So one of them almost hits him with his car, and then they start bullying him, and Goku doesn't fight him, because Goku doesn't believe in fighting unless he has to. Okay, gotta get it, but at the same time, kind of stupid, because it's Goku. It's dumb. But they also call him Giko, which, not gonna lie to you, because of how un-Goku-esque this guy is, I'm going to only refer to him as Giko, okay? So, Giko then introduces us to Chi-Chi, who is probably the only thing I like in this movie. And I mean that. I genuinely like Chi-Chi. She's fun, she seems to be a very good actress, and she actually has some pretty decent fight scenes in the movie. No joke. The scenes that involve her are actually the most watchable. But I digress, because our main character is Giko. So we have this weird moment where Goku is like staring at her, and he has this whole fantasy, which would have been cool if this was all going on in his head, but they keep cutting back to him, and it's kind of weird. He's making this face that's like, oh yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Like, it's real creepy. And it shows that everyone can see him making this face and making this gesture. That when it cuts back to him focusing in reality, everyone's just staring at him like, what the heck is he doing? Almost as if they can see what's going on down there, if you know what I mean. But then Goku, I'm going to say something really stupid. He airbends. Goku airbends. And that's what he calls it. Airbending. This movie's stupid. So, he airbends a bunch of lockers loose, which, sure, whatever. Goku has never been able to do whatever the heck this is, but apparently he can do it now. It gets Chi-Chi's attention, and Chi-Chi invites him to a party. And, he goes to the party, and he kind of ditches his grandpa, which kind of a jerk mood guy. I mean, he made cake, and he got you a Dragon Ball. A Dragon Ball! Yeah, that was his birthday gift. Because it's also Giko's birthday. And for his birthday, his grandpa got him a Dragon Ball. Specifically, the 4-star Dragon Ball. And the grandpa kind of reveals that there are 7 Dragon Balls, each with different star variants. And if you bring them all together, you can make a wish. Cool. Got that? Cool. Let's move on. So, after Giko ditches Grandpa Gohan, we then go to the party where Goku has a very dumb, very lame and boring fight scene with some of the bullies. And everyone else at the party kind of brushes it off. almost as if Goku didn't just school a bunch of people and do some fairly more than average fighting skills. Completely ignored so that Goku can have some horny moments. Great writing. Anyway, so we move on, and it comes to find out that all the while we're introduced to Piccolo. Piccolo in this movie is really the weakest part of a movie. I know that Giko is pretty bad, but at least I understand him. I understand him. I don't understand Piccolo. He's got a bunch of weird stuff going on about him. For one, it says that at the beginning of the movie that he was captured, but at no point do we ever see him get released. It just, he has a Flying Fortress ship, and he's hunting the Dragon Balls with his female sidekick, who is from the original Dragon Ball show, but it's barely addressed. Like, we don't know why he's doing it. We don't know how he got free. We don't know how he got this ship. We don't know how long he's been looking for the Dragon Balls. And if he's been looking for it for a long time, why is he only now finding one of them? Yeah, he only finds one of them. And there's no extra scene that says that he got freed and it's time to hunt the Dragon Balls. No, we just cut to him looking for a Dragon Ball. Almost no segue to it either. And it's really weird because the place he looks for the Dragon Ball is an old school Chinese or Japanese town. A village. Why? I know in the original show, time is kind of wibbly wobbly, right? There's dinosaurs, dragons, old school, new school, high-tech technology, flying cars, driving bicycles. There's a lot of hodgepodge and time things, but you haven't established that to be this universe. This movie plays this universe to be a high school musical with violence. It's definitely not the place to have this kind of a scene. The scenes where it shows Piccolo doing evil things and the scenes with Giko make no sense why they come together. Like, none. Until you get later into the movie. And if you have to wait that long for your scenes to start flowing together, clearly you've done something wrong. Ay, ay, ay. I digress, because Piccolo kills Gohan. Oh no! Yes, Piccolo kills Gohan. And Piccolo's design is actually pretty good. It's decent makeup job, and his costumes, while they do change every once in a while, do actually look pretty decent. Do I wish it had the original gi? A little bit, but I'm not heartbroken about it, because if they're gonna get at least one character right, I guess it should be Piccolo. Even if he looks right and nothing else is right. He kills Gohan, hoping that he would get the Dragon Ball. When he doesn't get the Dragon Ball, he blows the house up. Kind of. Sort of. We have a scene where he does like this motion, and then the house like collides in on itself. But literally in the next scene, Giko is able to go into the house. So Piccolo didn't really do a good job at destroying the place. Which is surprising, since he just decimated an entire village not too long ago in the movie. Moving on from there, Goku is introduced to Bulma. And this has to be probably the second worst designed character in the movie. Bulma is a blue-haired scientist girl who's supposed to be super rich. In this movie, she is a scientist's daughter. She's not exactly rich because her wish is for a bunch of money, and her blue hair is replaced with a single blue highlight in her hair. It's so dumb and stupid. So now with them together, they find out that they have to go find Master Roshi. So they get to Master Roshi, and by the way, one thing to keep in mind throughout the majority of this movie, if you decide to watch it for yourself, they yada yada their way out of a lot of situations. How did Piccolo get free? Yada yada yada. Okay, how does Goku know where Master Roshi lives? Oh yeah, no. So they start going there and yada yada yada. Okay, how do they know where to take the Dragon Balls? Oh, well, you see, Piccolo takes the Dragon Balls and then he yada yada yada. Okay. Ooh, okay, how about this? How does Goku know how to turn into the Ozaru? By the way, spoilers. Turn into the Ozaru. Oh, just yada yada magic. Yeah. They glance through a bunch of details, making the viewer incredibly confused. How do you know any of this information? How are you so easily getting from point A to point B? It doesn't make any sense. I mean, sure, they say that they use a Dragon Ball tracker to find Master Roshi, but you don't inherently know that Master Roshi has a Dragon Ball. You're just looking for a Dragon Ball. And he happens to have it. I mean, it's so dumb. And then Goku and Master Roshi have a little small fight scene, which is actually pretty cool. It's probably the second best fight scene in the entire movie. And no, the climax isn't number one. But Master Roshi is probably the second best well-casted character in this entire movie. He's fun-loving, he's a little weird, and he seems to be enjoying himself, which is more than I can say about any other character in this movie. When an actor actually enjoys the part that he's playing, you feel how much fun they're having, and you can't help but enjoy their role because you know it was a lot of fun for them. You feel that emotion. The other characters, you don't really feel that kind of emotion for any of them. It just seems like a paycheck. And literally no one did any research in this movie. Literally only 2 characters look like they're supposed to. Piccolo and Goku. And the only reason Goku looks okay is because for some reason they decided to get his original gi accurate. But it's also dumb because the gi is supposed to symbolize the Master Roshi teachings, but he doesn't get the gi from Master Roshi. Dumbass. It's so stupid. And it is a stupid thing, because even Grandpa Gohan laughs at him from beyond the grave when he reveals this stupid costume that he eventually has to wear at the end of the movie. And anyway, so after that we go to what they think the next Dragon Ball location is, and it turns out it's a fighting tournament. Okay, this is the part where most Dragon Ball fans are going to be watching the movie and thinking, okay, this is the moment. This is going to be cool. This is probably the last Dragon Ball. Piccolo has probably 3, and now our heroes have 2. Have like 2. It's perfect. Piccolo's got 4 of them. They have 2. They'll get the last Dragon Ball, and Piccolo has to fight Goku in the tournament. That would have been cool, but no. Goku doesn't actually enter the tournament. No. Chi-Chi does. Chi-Chi is in a fighting tournament instead of Goku. Not with Goku, instead of Goku. Goku does not fight these people. Missed opportunity. I mean, that's literally what happens in the show. You had an opportunity, you had a chance to do it right, and you chose wrong. And that's why I enjoy Chi-Chi so much, because they let her do things. They don't let Goku do anything aside from move the plot forward. It's stupid. Oh, but it gets dumber, because the Dragon Ball finds them trapped in a hole. And the hole was made, or at least guarded, by Yamcha, another character from the original Dragon Ball show, but he also doesn't look anything like Yamcha and has none of the characteristics of Yamcha. It's amazing how wrong these characters are. It's actually mind-boggling how incredibly wrong these characters are. Bulma doesn't look right. Goku looks whiter than a blizzard. And Yamcha, oh my god, Yamcha has none of his original characteristics. He has some of the cockiness, but he doesn't get the cockiness until Dragon Ball Z! Oh, and then Master Roshi flies. I know that doesn't seem like a big issue because most of the Dragon Ball characters fly, but Master Roshi intentionally doesn't fly because it's the teachings of his rival master. Stupid movie. Stupid. Stupid movie. So yeah, then they go through a hole in a wall and end up on top of a mountain, on top of a volcano. I don't know how they did that. That's another yada yada moment where they just on top of a volcano. How'd we get here? I don't know. Yeah, that's all you get. That's all the explanation you ever get. And then the bad guys summon putties or Cybermen. It's kind of weird. It's, again, nothing is ever explained about what Piccolo can and can't do. He just does stuff, and we have to assume that he can do it. Because they never give any context to him. So we just assume, oh yeah, no, he's got an army of mutant things. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh yeah, he's got a flying fortress that looks like the flying fortress from Pokemon 2000. That makes sense to me. Doesn't it make sense to you? Then, to get the Dragon Ball, because it's in the center of the volcano or something stupid like that, they use the corpses of the bad guys to get the Dragon Ball. So, if Piccolo had just floated over and picked up the Dragon Ball instead of sending his minions, he could have had it. But he didn't do that because we needed a reason for our heroes to start doing hero things. Master Plansman over there. Masterful. Masterful. So then, we get probably the dumbest scene in the movie next to the climax. Master Roshi teaching Goku how to do the Kamehameha. Some of you might be wondering, why is that so stupid? Because two reasons. One, this movie has no idea what the Kamehameha is. I know, that sounds impossible, but this movie literally has no idea what the Kamehameha is. Okay? They say it, and then a thing happens. They treat it like it's a mantra instead of a technique. I know because I watch a show. The Kamehameha is power, raw, untapped power that blasts forward and is the personification of one's key energy. In this movie, brings me to reason number 2, is it's airbending. That's right! It's airbending! Airbending. And it's not even good airbending. That's what's so stupid about it. They call it airbending at the beginning of the movie, but literally, in this scene that I'm talking about, he does the Kamehameha airbending technique, and he lights a candle. How is it airbending if you light fire? If your technique does fire, then it's fire bending. That's how it works. That's how words work. That's how English works. That's how Japanese works. Airbending moves air, firebending moves fire, earthbending moves earth, waterbending moves frickin' water. And that's what's even stupider about it. Because the technique, the movements that he uses to do the airbending that's also firebending is waterbending techniques. How do I know that? Because I watch Avatar The Last Airbender. So I know what it looks like. He's doing this motion, not this. This is a waterbending technique used by Katara in Season 1 of Avatar The Last Airbender. How? How? How do you... How? I don't know if it's a worse Avatar Last Airbender adaptation than the actual live-action Avatar The Last Airbender, or if it's somehow better than it, because it at least has airbending doing more impressive things than the original does. It is so stupid, this scene, and I hate this scene so very much. It's so stupid. But it's not even the end of the movie. This is the 30-minute mark. We still have 30 minutes left in this movie. Oh, God. Oh. So, after that monstrosity of a scene, we are then treated nicely with probably the best fight scene in the movie. And it's not from Goku. So, Piccolo's minion disguises herself as Chi-Chi to kill Goku and get the Dragon Ball. So, or just to steal the Dragon Ball. Doesn't actually want to kill Goku, which is weird. I digress. So, there's a fight scene between Chi-Chi and Clone Chi-Chi. This fight scene is really well done. It's very obvious that they know what they're doing. They keep matching each other's moves, and it looks like a genuine fight scene that I would probably see in the anime. And I enjoyed myself watching it. I didn't want the fight scene to end, because as soon as it did, I had to go back to the dumb movie. So, there's also a moment that made me question why this person doesn't work. It's because he thinks too much. Goku's never been a thinker, okay? He acts. He's all about instinct. Sure, he has thoughts, but it's more instinctive than you think. And he doesn't do that in this movie. So there's a moment where they do the cliche thing where Goku, she's the clone. No, Goku, she's the clone. Shoot her. We all know this cliche. Now, if this was Dragon Ball Goku that we know and love, he wouldn't even hesitate and probably would have shot them both and just hoped that he got it right. He would have just shot them both. I would have laughed and enjoyed it. But no, he shoots the wrong one and she goes free. Nothing really interesting happens. It's not funny. I don't even care that it happened. If she had died, I would have cared, because she's the only character I've enjoyed, but then Master Roshi uses the Kamehameha to heal her. And he does it like it's the Heimlich maneuver. If he had done the actual Kamehameha on her chest, she would have died. She would be dead. She would not exist anymore. Period. It does not heal things. It shoots things. So then we get the containment unit from Ernie Hudson. I know he's in this movie, and no, there are no Ghostbuster references, which honestly would have saved the movie, if I'm being honest. Would have saved the movie if there was at least one Ghostbuster reference. And then we'll go to the Dragon Temple, which Piccolo has to build, by the way, even though they say that they have to go to it, but Piccolo builds it with the Dragon Balls. So how do they know how to get there? Dragon Ball radar? Fine, whatever, cool, just move on. I want this movie to end. So, then, instead of summoning the dragon, which Piccolo totally could have done, Goku comes out in his orange gi. That makes no sense because it was supposed to be given to him by Master Roshi, not Gohan. And they have a moment where Piccolo explains that Goku is the Ozaru. Okay. And then he turns into the Ozaru, kills Master Roshi. Now, why is this stupid? This is stupid because, one, they treat the Ozaru not as a great ape, but as more of a werewolf. Yeah, he kind of can transform whenever he wants. He can choose to change back, and the beast form only takes over his mind unless the plot says that it doesn't. And it's not even as big as it's supposed to be. Like, the Ozaru is supposed to be on par with King Kong. And in this one, it's about the size of two guys standing on top of each other. It's not very impressive. It's very skinny and lanky, and the transformation is very awkward, and the CGI is terrible. Probably would have done them so much better if they had used a suit instead of the CGI, but it just doesn't work here. And then he turns back into Goku, and him and Piccolo fight, and it's probably the most boring fight scene I've ever seen. And, like, for some reason their ki is color coordinated, which doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, the fight scene's really boring, and then Goku summons the dragon and wishes Master Roshi back. Okay, whatever. I don't care. Movie's over. Yeah, that's kind of the end of the movie. The only other thing that happens is Chi-Chi and Goku fight, but they kind of do one of those freeze frame cut to the end credits thing. It would be cool to see Goku fight Chi-Chi, since all of Chi-Chi's fight scenes are pretty cool. Nope. Still would have been cool to also see him in that tournament, but nope, we don't get to do that either. The only other scene left is Piccolo apparently is alive and is being healed by a random woman. Other than that, nothing else happens in the movie. The movie's over. Are you starting to see why this movie sucks? Yeah, you are. This movie has absolutely no idea what the source material is, let alone any idea what the fans want, which is really confusing because in interviews, the creator of this movie constantly referenced the show. But to be clear, he mostly referenced Dragon Ball Z, not the original Dragon Ball, which does kind of explain some of the issues, but definitely not enough of them. I honestly don't know what they could have done to fix this movie, but I do think it would have been a lot more enjoyable if it just boiled down to the fighting tournament, because that's what we know Goku and Dragon Ball for. Fight scenes. They're always amazing. Even whether you're a kid or you're an adult, you always can feel that rush whenever you see Goku be in a fight scene. Or Vegeta in a fight scene. We all know that rush, that awesome feeling. And frankly, none of that rush is in this movie. Not even in an entertaining standpoint, which is disappointing. But this is only one of many movies for this season, ladies and gentlemen. So tune in next time. I'm Captain C, and I'll see you next time.